Hello and welcome everybody to today's presentation, where we're going to give you a quick overview of our CRM and ATS analytics product, Talent Compass. My name is Ani, and I'm on the product marketing team, and I'm joined by my colleague Lucia, who's on our product team. Before we go into the demo, I'd like to take a quick minute to give you all a quick overview of Talent Compass and the challenges that we tackle, and then Lucia will take it over for a quick demo of our solution, and then we'll leave some time for Q&A. So starting off, if you're attending this session, it's probably because you felt that reporting in your organization could be better. And I just want you all to be rest assured that you are not alone. According to Boston Consulting Group, 60% of talent acquisition leaders identify reporting and analytics as their number one gap. So clearly there's an opportunity to make data a much more organic part of the recruiting solution. For many teams, a lack of data can seriously set you up for failure, especially these days when budgets are tight and headcounts are being scrutinized with a fine-tooth comb. Now, when you look at successful leaders, whether it's in marketing, sales, engineering, or even talent acquisition, they're all using comprehensive data and robust analytics to first and foremost demonstrate the importance of their organization so there's less questions about their contributions. They're combing through their budgets to ensure that every dollar is spent driving the highest ROI possible. They're looking for ways to reduce unnecessary bottlenecks and friction in their operations and processes. And last but not least, they're coming prepared to the conversation with their C-suite and their CFO on why they need more budget or headcount, and they're using data to convince the CFO that this is a good decision. The good news is that many GEM customers who use Talent Compass are able to do the same. As we'll see in a second, they're unlocking full funnel analytics from their TA tech stack and reporting on how they're demonstrating their impact, how they're reducing costs, improving hiring velocity, and justifying additional resources. So naturally, how exactly does Talent Compass work? In summary, Talent Compass is built off a deep, sophisticated integration with your applicant tracking system and your GEM CRM. It will surface all of your historical ATS data, like applicants, time and stage, pass-through rates, etc., and it'll combine it with all the top-of-funnel activities in your CRM, so your team can build custom end-to-end views of all the metrics you need to track, from time to hire, to pass-through rates, to forecasting, to analyzing pipeline diversity, and much, much more. Our analytics module will come with customizable filters, breakdowns, and groupings, so you can slice and dice recruiting data across a number of different dimensions that fit your specific needs. And our reporting solution allows you to customize the visualization of these metrics that you want to present based on your specific audience. So whether that's your executive team who wants a bird's eye view, your managers who want to dig into the details of the funnel, or your individual recruiters who want to better understand and improve their performance, Talent Compass can customize that view for you. Within Talent Compass, there's also a couple of marquee features that I want to call out. The first one is our dashboard library. Our customers have often told us that they're not always sure where to start because there's just so much data available, and building that first dashboard can be quite overwhelming. So we help you out by offering 8 out-of-the-box templates that are tailored to specific use cases like executive reporting, team productivity, pipeline diversity, and more. You can customize these templates and reports based on how your team likes to measure data, and then standardize that language across your entire team. The nice thing about this is that once they're created, they'll always refresh with the latest data in your ATS and CRM, so you never have to worry about static reports or stale data. Our other major offering, and one of my personal favorites, is industry benchmarks. People always want to know how they're doing in relation to their peers, so Talent Compass brings in external data like benchmarks to help companies understand what their metrics actually mean when they're comparing apples to apples. We offer benchmarks for a number of different metrics, and you're able to customize them to your company's unique characteristics, so specific industries, company size, department, and more. Talent Compass also comes with a forecasting calculator that will project the number of hires you're on pace to make based on your current pipeline and historical pass-through rates. Our customers love using this to give their hiring managers, their department leaders, and senior executives visibility into how's recruiting actually doing and what can they realistically expect at the end of the month or at the end of the quarter. And on that same note, we've complemented our forecasting calculator with our newest module, which is a capacity planner that not only allows you to forecast hiring based on current recruiter capacity, but it also allows you to scenario plan for seasonal adjustments and dynamic market demands. So you can stay agile and prepared when it comes to having those conversations with finance on what exactly is your recruiting bandwidth today and what resources you're going to need to realistically hit future hiring and growth targets. And before I hand it off to Lucia, I just wanted to say, you don't have to take my word for anything that I've just said. Some of our biggest customers have used and love Talent Compass. Unity, for example, has used it to position their team as strategic partners to the business. Grammarly has successfully enforced a data-centric culture for their recruiting team. And Twilio has a clear line of sight into their pipeline health and when and where they might need to make a pivot. And with that, I'm going to hand it off to Lucia, who's going to give us a quick little demo of the product to show you how it works under the hood. Hey, Lucia.
Hey, Ani. Nice to see you, everyone. Thanks so much for having me. As Ani mentioned, I'm Lucia on our product team here, and I look after reporting within GEM. And yeah, I'm going to give you a little bit more of a functional walkthrough of the key reporting surfaces within GEM. General caveat, though, before we get started, as with any reporting tool, we're only as good as our data. And in this case, it's all demo data. So please pardon any funky numbers that you see, but I'm excited to give you the tour. And with that, let's dive right in. So what you're looking at firsthand is one of the reporting features that can be found within our Talent Compass module. Find everything on the left-hand navigation on the side here. And where I'm going to start our tour is within dashboards. This is where you go to start crafting your talent narrative. And to get started, hit new dashboard, very intuitive. You can, again, start from scratch by creating a new dashboard and pull in all the relevant widgets for your talent narrative. Or as Ani mentioned, make GEM do the hard work for you. We have a couple out-of-the-box templates curated with talent leaders and customer partners in mind for some of the top use cases that they want to report on, be it interview health, pipeline diversity, or general recruiting team health and productivity overall. For the purposes of this demo, I'll go a little bit deeper into this executive overview one, which highlights some of the metrics that you can see here. Just to give you a quick overview, some things that you can report on in the context of dashboards include your open jobs, total hires, and starts globally across the business or broken down by department. You can track KPIs like average time to hire, time to fill, a hires breakdown, or offer acceptance rate, again, by those cuts over time or looking at specific departments or organizational cuts. Do a little composition analysis for where your hires are coming from in terms of source, or take a look at what hires look like from a gender and diversity perspective. Lastly, this dashboard rounds out with a snapshot of your current pipeline, so you can see where all of your candidates are in process at this specific moment. There's a couple of other cool things about dashboards that I wanted to highlight in no particular order. Scrolling back up, like Ani previewed earlier in the slides as well, we have these awesome benchmarks that, again, just help you further contextualize and take away insights on some of the numbers that you're seeing in the dashboard. This industry median can be further configured in the widget editor in that three-dot menu there, in this second tab here in benchmarks. So you can curate your peer set of companies that you compare to again, get more out of the insights from within GEM. Refine it down by a number of dimensions, including company size, location, industry, and then hit save once that looks good to you. That's not the end of configuration for widgets within GEM, though. Let's say I want to change this one up, this hires by department. Whether it's purely aesthetics and you want to change up the visualization, or you actually want to do a different analysis for this specific stat, feel free to change it up by grouping by office instead of department, or doing a quarterly roll-up instead of a more granular view for monthly. In case the visualization, once it loads, doesn't suit your fancy, oh, there it is. Or maybe it's just taking a little bit too much room. You want to change the visualization to stacked bar charts, totally do that. And again, hit save once that looks good to you. Common question that you might get asked when presenting your dashboard. All right, 57 hires, cool. Who are these people? No idea. You don't have to go anywhere. Stay all within GEM and even the specific dashboard. Drill into this widget to understand what candidates look like, who those specific hires are, even search for folks. I'm going to search for myself, and then easily from all in one place, look at activity timestamps and have quick links to their profile in GEM or application in Greenhouse. I know this is a lot, but lastly, again, these templates are meant to be out-of-the-box accelerators, but we know we haven't caught everything. If you're not seeing a widget that you're looking for as part of your talent narrative, go ahead and explore our widget library, where we'll have a bunch more stuff that you can add to your dashboard to tell a cohesive talent story, whether it's outreach stats, which weren't shown in the template out of the box, so you can look at things like open and response rates, or interviews, so you can monitor volume, how much time your team is spending, or look at scorecards. And then another one that's not actually shown here yet, but if you reach out, I would love to get you set up on our integration. We actually now report on Workday HRIS metrics. You can see your departures data as well as attrition trends all within the same GEM dashboard for, again, that cohesive talent story. In case all else fails and you're still not seeing what you want to report on in the context of your GEM dashboard, feel free to just add it in. We have this free-form text widget that allows you to customize and report on the 20 puppies that you brought onto the talent team. Why? Because we have this new Office Buddies initiative. Who knows? But over the last 90 days, I got 20 puppies. And I can add some context for why the puppies initiative is important in long form. So that when I go to present or share it with an external audience, maybe even set up an automated report for folks that most likely don't have the same context that I do, I never lose control or track of the overall, again, talent narrative that I'm trying to spin out to the business. That's primarily dashboards, but it's not just a storyboarding tool. Within GEM, if you wanted to take a deeper dive because you get a question around, hey, 46 days looks a little bit higher than I would like, what's going on there? Instead of spending hours, if not days, having to go through the data, come up with hypotheses, and validate what might be going on here, go directly to Pipeline Analytics, which you can access from the widget, or again, check out the left-hand navigation to find the Pipeline Analytics module, which looks a little something like this, which is our robust, in-depth diagnostic tool to help you understand and drill into your funnel data by a bunch of different configurations. Out of the box, you get it grouped by job, but look at things like pass-through rates or time and stage and change these configurations to suss out the hypotheses or validate your data in whatever way is most relevant to you. I got a question, right, for why is my time to hire so outrageously high? Maybe I want to look at it by department because I have a suspicion that it's just pockets of my organization and maybe even individual hiring managers that are key offenders here. Once it loads, if I take a look at the data, I can actually understand, hey, by department, what does time and stage look like at that level of breakdown, as well as by hiring manager? So if I have a hypothesis that, hey, maybe there are certain hiring managers dragging their feet on making decisions, I have the data to validate that and back me up as needed. All right, looks like our data loaded. And now I can clearly see with a lot of ease without having to go into other tools and cumbersome analyses that, hey, maybe there are some offending hiring managers that I should have conversation with between onsite and offer to see if we can get that time to hire down a little bit more. Pipeline Analytics is also where we've put the entry point for the forecast calculator that Ani previewed in the slides earlier. And this takes your existing pipeline data, aggregates it, and helps you understand what your pipeline needs to look like if you want to hire one person or 10 people. We have all of your data and help you synthesize it in a way that you don't have to do all the heavy lifting. Or go the other direction. Instead of saying, how many people can I hire or do I need to hire? If you want to hire X number of people by, let's say, the end of the month, we can take, again, those same pipeline assumptions that we have data for under the hood, couple that with what you have in your existing pipeline right now, and help you understand what's a reasonable expectation for the end of September. In case you need a more holistic planning solution, by the way, we also have our capacity planner, which was just released earlier this year, to give you that more robust all-in-one solution for all of your planning needs. This is what a potential sample plan could look like. Let's imagine that this is an annual plan for 2024, broken down by month, where I want to hit hiring goals for G&A, go-to-market, and the EPD areas of my business. We know capacity planning is just all one giant balancing exercise between what you can do, so your team's bandwidth, and again, what you're being asked to do, those hiring goals for each respective area of the business. Functionally, after you tell us who's on the team and you tell us what they can do in terms of bandwidth, in this case for this plan on a monthly basis, you have a couple of options here. You can either validate your capacity assumptions with, again, data that's already in one place within GEM. Clicking on this icon takes you back to Pipeline Analytics, which we just saw, but instead of the cohort view, it'll give you a count of activity for Tamara, in this case, that recruiter that I was looking at, her historical record. So you have the full context to at least sanity check, hey, are my capacity assumptions actually reasonable here? Also pull in placeholders, post Renaissance tour. Beyonce is actually going to take a stint on GEM's recruiting team and help us hire our next round of GEMs. Account for her capacity without her having to be in the ATS, so you're never blocked from a systems perspective. Once you have gas in the tank, where you're actually going to be doing the number crunching and actual business of planning is up in here. So you can start distributing the work of hiring 10 folks in the G&A area of your business for all the recruiters that are staffed to that specific area, with the full context about each person's monthly capacity as well as global capacity. So you have a holistic view, but then also can easily pivot and change for a very, very dynamic environment. For the stuff that inevitably happens that doesn't go necessarily according to plan, for an example, in the case of increased attrition or backfills, toggle that on as a scenario, which will then propagate to these charts and insights up here, giving you all of the evidence you need to either make a compelling case for more resourcing or speak with confidence and conviction to your business stakeholders and say, this is or is not a reasonable pivot to the hiring plan that we have. Last thing to call out here, again, especially in today's environment and given the market, I know that there's probably 1,000,001 permutations of all the ways that the business could shake out and therefore hiring could shake out. Manage all those versions, but instead of having V10, V15, or V20 of your capacity plan, make a version, keep it all within GEM, easily compare side by side what a base case or a conservative case might look like, all in one place, so you never lose track, and again, have full confidence to be a true thought partner and strategic advisor to the rest of the business on the best course of action forward. The last bit that I'll highlight is also a relatively newer addition to GEM's Talent Compass module. It's the ROI calculator, born by a lot of feedback from a lot of our existing customers saying, hey, I'm getting asked for a lot of tool evaluation. How can I really maximize my budget and optimize every dollar that I'm spending? What the ROI calculator does is, again, takes all of the sources that are in your ATS for everyone that you have candidates for, allows you to assign a cost, maybe like your LinkedIn subscription that's billed annually if you spend $30,000. Now what you can do is that for a period of time that you want to analyze, you can see how total cost per application, as well as cost per hire look like for that specific time period to, again, guide your decision-making on the best course of action. Analyze directly from the table, or use these summary widgets to toggle onto the specific insight that you care to, whether that's highest overall cost or cost per application as shown here. Have the insights that you need to, again, run recruiting in the most effective and efficient way possible. All right, and that's me done. And now I'll hand it back over to Ani.
Amazing. Thank you, Lucia, for walking us through that demo. And thank you to everyone who attended. I hope you found this incredibly informative and helpful, and we're looking forward to hearing all of your questions and feedback.